Tonight, Broken Hill Airport to receive a multi-million-dollar upgrade and authorities cracking down on dangerous driving near school zones.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Louise Hedger begins now.
Good evening. The Broken Hill Airport is set for a major upgrade following an announcement from New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro. He says the move will help boost connectivity in the region and accommodate increased visitation.
The Deputy Premier's visit to the Silver City started with a tour of the EC Andrews drill core facility in the industrial zone. In the 2018 budget, $900,000 was allocated to a shed extension, the facility helping those in the mining industry analyse drill core samples.
Because we are going to run out of these minerals somewhere in the future, but in the meantime, it's actually a data bank that helps future mining companies, to consider mining in the region.
From a completed project to one that's just starting, Barilaro then provided with an update from League officials on the redevelopment of Jubilee Oval, a project he kicked into gear. A little over $2.5 million will see many changes, including new change rooms and upgrades to fencing.
Exciting there. I can't wait to see that. I remember visiting there 18 months ago, understanding the shared change rooms, and what the master plan looks like now is fantastic.
Barilaro stopped by for the official reopening of Patton Park before making a major funding announcement at Broken Hill Airport.
$2.4 million for the upgrade of the Broken Hill City Airport. The council themselves will have contributed just a tad over $800,000 towards the project.
The money going towards perimeter upgrades and security.
In terms of the lights and the fencing, which means that we will be a safer place. We'll also have that opportunity as we grow to go to the next stage of funding.
That next stage could be an upgrade of the tarmac to accommodate larger aircraft.
We've got miners that come in, the mining community, business community, tourism, so important, and connectivity is the key when we're talking about driving prosperity in regional New South Wales.
Patrick Ryankey, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
As schools return across the Spencer Gulf, police are out in force targeting drink and drug drivers as part of Operation Return to School. Road safety advocates are calling for drivers to remain vigilant in a bid to reduce incidents on our roads.
As students today returned to school, so too did the watchful eye of the law.
South Australian Police for today and tomorrow will be conducting Operation Return to School.
Police having a visible presence around school zones as part of a 2-day blitz, focusing on anyone doing the wrong thing behind the wheel.
It's making sure that they obey all the road rules, not doing U-turns or speeding through the school crossings.
Drug and alcohol affected drivers also in the sights of authorities, but the main aim is to educate both parents and students about road safety.
To make sure that the kids are doing the right thing and taking to the school crossings or onto the footpath to get into the schools.
13 pedestrians have already been killed on our roads this year, compared with 4 at the same time last year. And with stormy weather predicted over the next week, the RAA says drivers need to remain vigilant in these conditions.
When it's raining, pedestrians, as we know, tend to try and get out of the wet as quickly as possible, so that means that sometimes they don't perhaps take as much care as they should.
Police with clear goals for the operation.
When the kids do go back to school, they get to school and home safely.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Parts of South Australia have been hit with wild weather, with the government issuing a severe weather warning. The Lower Eyre Peninsula and York Peninsula thrashed, with gusts reaching up to 100 kilometres per hour. The conditions were due to a cold front moving across the south of the state late this morning. Authorities say the wind isn't expected to die down anytime soon, with emergency services advising residents to move vehicles undercover and to secure any loose items. Management of Port Augusta's National Sterile Insect Facility say funding for the centre will be a big step in protecting Australia against fruit flies. The financial backing means its stores will stay open until 2022.
It's the insect tormenting growers on the east coast of the country, but South Australia's battle against the destructive Queensland fruit fly is now $10 million better off.
This is the only Q-fly production facility in Australia, and so a lot of that work hadn't been done in the past.
A funding partnership between the state government and a number of universities means researchers at the Port Augusta facility can continue their work until 2022.
It's going to be exciting to actually have some specific Q-fly production research.
50 million sterile flies are able to be produced each week, and they have already prevented 2 outbreaks this year in the horticulture heartland of the Riverland, as well as Loxton in Victoria.
It has been a key part of our eradication responses to fruit fly outbreaks in South Australia.
They are introduced into outbreak areas and breed with wild flies.
And therefore the population numbers will crash.
SIT+ management say this Q-fly research is critical to the health of fruit production across Australia.
If we were to lose that, then that would have a significant impact on industries across the country.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Employers in the Mid-North have developed a multi-skills program to help tackle the region's unemployment rate. Job seekers gathering at Port Pirie TAFE today for the program's launch.
Upskilling locally to help fill a regional shortage. Local employees working in conjunction with TAFE SA and the federal government to help Port Pirie job seekers undergo the right training.
Gives them an opportunity to look at the 4 main apprenticeship trade stream, gets them to understand for them what is the thing that they are most suited towards and pursue the right activity.
The Heavy Industry and Trades Multi-Skills program offering those in need of work a chance to gain skills in engineering, electrical and renewables, construction and civil and mining. Offering the program to 15 new trainees is hoped to help fill an employment hole.
What that genuinely means is we are recruiting from outside the region, in some cases internationally, for trades, because you do need to do 4 years to even get to that trade apprenticeship space.
An opportunity for those involved to network with potential future employers.
If these guys are real keen in this area, there's a massive shortage in the state, actually in Australia.
The trainees pleased to have an opportunity to upskill close to home.
I joined because it's really hard to find experience without having a job, and to get that job you need the experience.
The program also providing a more equitable approach to training.
Either, spend your own money if you don't qualify for assistance, getting the Cert 2, Cert 3s and stuff, or sign up for a course like this, so I hope it goes really well for them.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, calls for better waste management practices across the Spencer Gulf, and locals impressed with the new skate park at Tumby Bay. Welcome back. Spencer Gulf councils are calling for better waste management options following rising recycling and landfill costs. The Local Government Association is calling for the matter to be investigated by the Productivity Commission.
Regional councils busy trash-talking South Australia's waste management woes, with many across the Spencer Gulf feeling the bite of increased waste levy prices in this year's budget.
In Port Pirie itself, we've gone from $80,000 extra that they imposed on us last year to now $150,000 for 1920.
The Local Government Association now calling for an investigation into the matter by the Productivity Commission.
What we're really asking for is some consistency. There's really uncertainty all around the state and regional Australia especially.
Recycling is also proving to be a headache for local council. A fallout effect of China's national sword policy, which has denied 1.24 million tonnes of Australian plastic from entering the country.
Recycling overseas for processing is very limited now, so a lot more option needs to be put into doing it in Australia.
Port Pirie Council says expect the long-term effects of the waste levy price hike to hit residents in the pocket.
It's a no-win. I understand where we're at with it, but these margins keep creeping all the time, and it's you, the ratepayer, that pays for it.
The South Australian Government says it has provided 2 funding packages of $24.4 million to assist councils that are struggling with the changes made by China's policy shift. Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Local thrill seekers are excited by Tumby Bay's latest attraction, with the town opening its first modular skate park. The project taking around 9 months to complete and is already getting the tick of approval.
Skating down the latest upgrade at Tumby Bay, the town opening its first skate park, getting kids out and active.
It's taken probably close to a year to get to this stage now, but it's finally here, and the kids are having fun on it, and it seems very successful so far.
The Tampa Bay Progress Association assisted with $60,000 worth of funding from Variety SA for the project last year, the money helping kickstart the park, which until then was a pipe dream.
It's been in the process for probably close to a year. We applied for a grant with Variety, and that came through, and then it's just been a process of getting the concrete in place, waiting for the equipment to be made.
The park is a second upgrade in a long list of projects aiming to revitalise the town's outdoor areas, previously upgrading the BMX track and pump track 2 years ago.
The kids from Tampa have been crying out for a skate park for a long time before that too, so yeah, we're really pleased that we've finally provided them with something that they've always wanted.
The park getting the tick of approval from the local skaters.
I really enjoy just coming out here and just showing, doing all my tricks, and I just like to go out and do as good as I can.
It's the latest upgrade in the growing appetite for Tampa Bay's thrill seekers, with new ramps, boxes and jumps all being installed.
There's just been so many kids here, it's been crazy. I've had to go on the pump track because there's just been too many kids.
An official unveiling of the park will be held early next month. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The mid-north town of Kaltawi is gearing up to host a live music festival this September. Chilled Out and Fired Up is to take place on the town's oval, raising funds to build awareness for men's mental health. The lineup headlined by Aussie blues icon Ash Grunwald, with follow-up acts by indie Adelaide group Venice Queens and three-piece punk band Grenadiers. Gates will open on the 21st of September. Regional artists are encouraged to apply for South Australia's next round of country art funding. The program helping rural artists to develop their skills by learning from the experts. Funding is also available for organisations and community groups wanting to create cultural projects for professional development. The grants are made available through the federal government. Applications close mid-August. For more information, visit the Country Arts website. A feature film which used Broken Hill for its backdrop will be screened at the Silver City Cinema next month. Locals will get a chance to finally see the movie, which has been receiving plenty of good reviews.
A crime thriller set in the heart of the outback. Locus tells the story of two estranged brothers reuniting in their remote hometown at their father's funeral. They quickly become the target of an extortion scam ran by a group of violent thugs.
Screened at Newport Beach Film Festival in the US. There was its US premiere back in April, and one of the biggest festivals in the US.
Broken Hill was used for the fictional town of Serenity Crossing, but Mr. Watts says locals will no doubt spot the local landmarks. The film has already received plenty of praise, even picking up awards, including cinematography.
There's plenty of great landscape and sunset shots and drone shots around town, so I think it'll be no mistake where the film was shot.
After a run of national and even international film festivals, Locus will have a special screening in Broken Hill. The sneak peek will be held on August 15, with the movie to receive a cinematic release in October.
We always find a spot for our movies that are filmed in Broken Hill. We find a spot because it does bring a crowd and people will enjoy it.
Tickets for the screening are on sale. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Footy returns to Port Lincoln and we'll have the weather details with Britt. Hello again. Broken Hill's veteran footy players don the boots once again for an exhibition game at the weekend. Known as the Shinglebacks, the side took on a South Australian Masters team from Adelaide. While many players lacked some match fitness, their skills by hand and foot had not dropped off. In fact, a few of the locals still get selected for weekend reserves and A-grade teams. In the end, the Shinglebacks walked with a 5-point win and, of course, the bragging rights. And football returned to Port Lincoln this weekend after a 2-week break. Tasmans proving while they're on top of the ladder board by defeating the spirited Bostons by 72 on Saturday. Nathan Rector has the weekend wrap.
Well, it was always going to be tough competition, with Boston's facing off against the team sitting comfortably on top of the ladder. Tassie scoring 36 by the first quarter, Boston still trying to score a goal. By the fourth quarter, Boston's had their fate sealed, with Tasman's running away with the game. The team finishing with 16 goals and 15 points against Boston's 5 goals and 9 points. In the other game, Mallee Park defeated Waybacks at Centenary Oval, and Marble Range saw victory against South at Wangari. Around the region now and in Spencer Golf, it was an easy game for Props Risdon, with the team taking home the game against Port. It was a better game to watch between South Augusta and West, with South winning by a mere 5 points. South taking charge early on, but West had something to prove, with the team fighting back and taking the lead at half-time. But they couldn't keep the momentum going, with South taking the win, 77-72. In the other game, Central's won 33 over Sollies. In Whyalla, and Central's got it done against Waroona, whilst West absolutely smoked South by 146. The third match saw North also have a win, taking down Rapina. Up in the northern areas, Boolaroo won over Orroroo, Crystal Brook snagged a win over Jamestown, and Southern Flinders suffered a loss. In the Great Flinders, and Tumby Bay saw victory against Ramblers, Cummins had an easy win against Lock, and United Yalana crushed Air United with a 213 win. On the York Peninsula, and Moonta scored a win, Crows taking it out against Central, and Kadina saw defeat. Over to the Silver City, and South scored a win over North, while West cruised to an easy victory against Centrals. So there's all the action from the football field from across the region, and I'll be back tomorrow with the rest of sport.
And time to take a look at what's happening in the weather this week. Here's Britt.
Thanks, Louise, and good evening. It's been a bit of a mixed bag across the region today, with showers about the Eyre Peninsula, sun over the mid-north, morning frost at Broken Hill, and strong winds raising dust about the entire Gulf. Port Augusta and Whyalla both with maximums of 21 today, Port Pirie 19, Broken Hill and Adelaide both 18, Port Lincoln 17 degrees. To the skies now, where a cold front crossed South Australia this afternoon, with another one coming our way tomorrow evening. And speaking of tomorrow, let's take a look at the Gulf waters. Westerly winds at up to 30 knots, with seas at around 1.5 metres. And we can expect showers over much of the region again tomorrow, most likely in the afternoon and evening. Port Augusta and Whyalla both with tops of 18, Coffin Bay, Woodner, Broken Hill and Port Pirie all expecting tops of 17, Port Lincoln, Cleve and Kadina 16, Corn 15, Clare a top of 13 degrees. Looking ahead now to Wednesday, with more showers expected at Port Lincoln, remaining dry Thursday and Friday. Cleve looking fine and partly cloudy for the remainder of the working week. Woodner with showers expected Wednesday but remaining fine Thursday and Friday. Whyalla, Port Augusta and Kadina can all expect fine and mostly cloudy conditions Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Much the same at Port Pirie, looking mostly fine through the week. Clare expecting showers on Wednesday and Friday, and conditions will remain fine at Broken Hill. And Louise, with that, it's back to you.
Lovely, thanks for that, Britt. And that's your local news this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll have updates later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.